Are you crazy? Or are you just mad?
Hello. Welcome to the Mad Musicians Against Depression podcast, where we discuss the latest news, research and hot topics surrounding mental health. I'm Thomas Maher, and I'm joined in studio by my beautiful co-host, award-winning singer, songwriter and presenter, Indiraa.
I'm a musician against depression.
You're a mullet against depression?
I'm a musician against depression.
Are you against it?
I'm definitely against depression.
Are you up against it?
Oh, I'm up against it.
Welcome back, Indiraa.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Indiraa. Welcome back, Indiraa. Indiraa is here again.
And you wonder why we're called Mad.
Yes, folks, it is another episode of the Mad Musicians Against Depression podcast, where I'm here myself, Tommy Maher, and the lovely Indiraa is back for another crazy show. Welcome.
The
Indiraa.
lovely bit is right, okay? I'm back is also right. So, yeah, okay, that was right. Sorry.
I am right.
Yeah, you're always right.
I'm always right.
Yeah.
So, Indiraa.
Except when you're wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm never wrong. Don't start me off now. Okay, so now, remember last week we spoke, you were very open about your current state of play last week when you on the podcast. So we said we're going to follow up this week.
Yeah, we are.
Once you'd spoken to your psychiatrist, see how things were. So you believe you spoke to him yesterday?
I did. I had a call with him yesterday, and I discussed with him a few things. I said, look, when you look at my world, it sounds idyllic. I live in a beautiful place, an idyllic place. I've got a good life and everything anyone would want. And from the outside, it's something to be really envied, homes in different countries, all the rest of it. It's great to show off about these things, but it's not something to show off about, because if you're not happy in your heart and in your soul and in your brain, you could be anywhere in the world and you're not going to be happy.
Indeed.
We wonder why so many famous people land up giving up on life. Well, I wonder why we don't understand that pressure comes with everything. So when I talk about going to a psychiatrist, everyone goes, you don't need that, you've got everything. And when they say that, I actually want to punch them, but I don't, because, I don't want to get arrested. But I went to him and I did talk about the few things you discussed. And one of them we discussed was going on an, addiction medication. I take one every day because I never drank for 55 years and then drank when my mum passed away. And then it became I just drink white wine. I don't drink anything else. It's a very strange dependency, because you can throw anything at me and I will not touch it, not even red wine. And I can live in a household that's full of all that and I won't touch it. But I have this thing where I will reach for a glass of white wine whenever something goes wrong, thinking it's going to make me better, and it doesn't. So when I talked to him about this medication I take, which makes me dizzy, it makes me feel sick. The worst part about it is I get very lethargic and I get bone pain and cramps. Now, for someone as physically obsessed with fitness like I am, like everything I get obsessed with, it's I like a good 10-kilometer run every day. And if I'm tired and sleeping, like I did this afternoon, I just passed out. Yeah. And I'm not used to sleeping in the day, and it's terrible. So I told him, I said, I don't want to take this medicine every day. Every day at a certain time, I'm sick, I'm dizzy, I'm lazy, my body aches, and it goes on for a few hours. And so I said I believe there's an equivalent of an injection for it that lasts a month, and which Tommy, you told me about. And he said, yes, my clinic doesn't do it, but I'm going to refer you. So I'm going through with that one. Now, in terms of the ketamine, he said, Yes, I have been studying more and more about it. Now, my psychiatrist is highly well known, but I will not quote names because I'd rather not. But he's also lectures all over the country and world, probably. When I talked to him about the ketamine, he said, listen, a lot has been done since we first talked about it. Are you a candidate for it? I'd like to believe you are. In which case, I'm going to give you 1 month in which you have to send me a mood diary every day of what you've done and how you felt, and give yourself a rating. And if at the end of the month I think you're stable enough to take it, then we'll go ahead. If not, I am not taking responsibility, which is fair enough.
Absolutely.
Because obviously his
welfare is the more the priority.
Of course. He told me and I was telling him how much I'd done in the last 2 weeks, the number of places I've been, to Lourdes, to Monte Carlo, on a hike to the Lake District, came back, I've had guests, I've had everything going on, lots of people in the house living, and my house is being, as you know, going through construction. So he said, well, this is not even normal for a normal person, let alone someone with clinical depression. And he said that I don't accept what you're doing. I don't want to give you medication if it's the variables that are causing this. Of course, they're adding to it. I cannot deny it. But to give me a month of settle, do not travel, do not do anything like that. Try and stick to everything you can. And if at the end of it you seem ready and your mood, I do a graph for him usually. Mm-hmm. If it's the mean, median, and mode is sort of above 7, at least I'm a candidate then. And I'd like to believe he's right in that respect. I'm willing to wait more than a month if I have to. But yeah, I'm willing to do that.
Well, a good thing, when we spoke about it, the whole point about you speaking to him was to, obviously to put across how you were feeling at that time, but also to open his mind to the fact that you were willing to try new things, and that just gave him the kind of green light to say, okay, she's open and ready to try new things, and I can do that. So,
and I think he's very into 100% result of something. If there isn't, or if anything can go wrong, he doesn't want to take a chance. Of course, because your welfare is going to get top of his priority list, and when it comes to treating. He did tell me that with all the stuff going on in my life, and this is important to everyone out there listening, that if you try and please everyone by doing everything for everyone, going with everyone everywhere, traveling with everyone, having everyone, if they want to go out for meals, this, that, and the other, you're dragging yourself from pillar to post. He did tell me everyone goes back to their life and look at you. And if you saw the result of the last 1 month, which I guess you can hear in my voice, you will understand that all I've done is gone 1 step forward and 5 steps back in my life, which is not fun.
Yeah, you're giving away too much of yourself. And, one thing I've learned in the last number of years, particularly in the last recent years, is not to give any time to anyone who doesn't deserve your time. Because your time is your most precious thing you can give to anybody. It's not about wealth or generosity and that. Your time is everything, because that's the one thing that can get you down and can kill you at the end if you give you too much of yourself away.
The more I see of people, like even a little incident that happened on the farm today when we were laughing about it, but when you see how people go through life and what all is worrying them and affecting them, it's very, very sad to even, watch even a normal person who you may laugh at them because they're so eccentric and crazy, but it's sad.
It is sad. Of course it's sad, because you don't want to see, because you know what the road ahead lies for them.
And you know what's they are not aware. Some of them are really, in this case, we're talking about someone who had literally keeps having blow-ups whenever you talk to him. When he doesn't live here, fortunately, and comes here once in a blue moon every 3 or 4 months. But when you see someone like that going through it, you realize what turmoil there is somewhere in his brain, and he's not even aware of it. Mm-hmm. To him, the whole world is wrong, and he's oblivious of what's going on in his brain, and it's very, very sad.
Yeah, because it's a fixed mentality, isn't it? Going back to that fixed mentality, and also being very stubborn about it. And also, I think this person we're talking about obviously feels the world owes them a lot, In fact, it owes them nothing. Nobody's owed anything out of this life. You have to work for it and you have to earn it. So some people are just destined to they've got a particular roadmap and they're heading that way, and they're fulfilling their own.
But I think
destiny.
one of the easiest ways to get depressed is when you don't have a focus to do stuff in life. Because my work is such a big focus to me. I shot a video yesterday. I did my run. I did this today. I've got the podcasts, and if I didn't have these things, I can't even imagine going through the day.
Yeah, without structure, of course. You need a purpose in life. But that's why we're all individuals. Some people just live on a day-to-day basis. They live for the moment.
Yeah.
And we keep hearing about, we should live in the moment. That's fine if you've got a lot of structure in your life and you've got routine and this, that, and the other. But some people haven't got any of that. They literally live from day to day. And they've never thought about the future, what it holds. And a lot of people live in the past, They think that the good times are never going to end, and they do. The good times will always end for everybody. You can't just keep floating on the crust of a wave of life.
Also, there's another aspect to this whole thing, is like living in the past, and people say living in the now. It's great in theory. It's like anything in theory. It's great. It's how you get there and the road ahead to try and get there. The strength of character, the strength of everything to try and live in the present. It's much easier said than done. I'm sorry.
Of course, but it's all based about having stability in your life.
Yeah.
Security and stability, and having things in your life, a social network, having a purpose, having a structure, having routine. It's all about having those things in place. Then it's great to live in the moment. But if you haven't got any of those things...
If the moment is crap, then what do you do,
Which it can be, of course.
Yeah.
Everyone's got
if everyone's got... if you've got going through a really rubbish time and, you're watching someone very close to you being ill and this and that and whatever, do you want to live in the present? Do you want to be anywhere but in the present?
But you have to deal with its reality.
Yeah, but that's reality. That's the road ahead.
Everyone's faced with those things. It's just like ignoring... obviously the practicalities and the obvious things are going to hit you in life. And so, like I say, this particular person we're talking about is unfortunately one of those people who's just going to run into a roadblock eventually because they haven't dealt with anything in life.
I actually feel very sad for him because there's so much anger, and no matter how bad things are, you may feel anger within you, but there can't be that much hate in your heart for people. I feel anger sometimes and say, don't do this to me. I'm over 60 years old. Don't treat me like a baby. Let me have an opinion of my own. Let me have a life of my own, a decision of my own. I am me. Don't tell me what to do. I was born independent. I have an anger over being told what to do because I had a dad who was very controlling, and he told me what to do every day of my life. And I have a real issue with being told what to do. I can actually feel my blood boil when someone tells me what to do.
Yeah.
And then I go the other way like I always did with him. He wanted me to play golf. I played tennis, He wanted me to study engineering. I did psychology and law. I did everything he told me not to do. And that was me. And I will dig my heels in and I get so mad. And I'm not denying I get angry, but you can't get so angry with everything and everyone in the world where you stop focusing that the world is beautiful anyway.
Yeah, I think, but the main difference is you're willing to and have dealt with your issues, where this particular person is completely unwilling to even acknowledge his problems. So that's the difference, really. I always said to myself, well, probably the last 5 or 6 years, it really was hit me when it's home for me is about, having a structure in life and how, when I get to 50, obviously it's a pivotal point in my life and I want to make sure that I'm focused for those years to come. And the way I put it to myself is I always said every year I'm going to try and be a better version of myself. Because I always said I'm not going to get old, I'm just going to die one day. That was my mentality. And I thought, well, I'm going to work towards being a bit better version of myself every year. And if you think like that, and it actually...
Oh, I do, but I always say I'll start tomorrow.
Okay. But that's something I actually did put into practice, and I've tried very, very hard in the last few years. And that gives you a long-term purpose. It gives you a long-term purpose, like a goal every year. So it's not like a weekly goal or a monthly goal. You can have those incremental things that you do weekly and monthly and things like that. But
I do. I think that's right. I mean, I have a lot going on all the time.
Of course you do.
But I think I'm a lonely soul somewhere inside. I think that's what's wrong with me. I don't like my own company, maybe. I don't know. I'm just lonely, maybe. I don't know.
Like you say, you can be around 1,000 people or 100 people and still be very lonely, or you could be on your own and not lonely. So it is inside. It's about how you feel inside.
Yeah.
But I think you're addressing these things now. You're finding a happy place.
It's a tough road, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm sitting and looking across the studio now at a thing saying Lady Indiraa #1 on one of my songs, and then another one in 3 and 5 and 10, and I'm looking around it and I'm thinking, how come it doesn't bother me or make me happy or sad? It's what's wrong with me?
Because it's not what you're searching for. Obviously, there's something else.
And
that's
I was
missing
talking to Matt, who I do music with, and he said the thing is, you're not up your own butt. You don't go bragging about it. I said, because I don't even know what I'm supposed to be bragging about. Mm-hmm. There are other people out there who are better, I guess. I don't know.
But, it's an achievement in itself. And you, like you say, you're still on a journey. Until the day you die, we're on a journey, aren't we? We're still
are we just depressing our audience here?
No, but it's been realistic.
Yeah.
But you're in a lot more upbeat, positive mood since you've had your discussion with psychiatrists.
Absolutely. I've got so much to look forward to.
He's given you a roadmap, hasn't he?
Is it okay if I start today with the first
Yeah, of course
thing?
you can.
Okay. So
the headline is...
See 3 things not to say to someone experience depression.
Very good.
You have nothing to depressed about. I mean, sometimes we inadvertently say things that worsen the situation for someone facing depression. So it's sometimes we are inadvertently saying things to worsen a situation, but the person is facing depression. That's telling someone with depression, hey, snap out of it, implies that the condition is a matter of choice. It really isn't.
Oh, that's terrible, yeah. That can
encouraging
make you
someone
angry.
with depression to just be positive simplifies the complexity of this condition. So depression is a serious mental health condition that affects millions of people worldwide, as you know. While well-intentioned, sometimes we can inadvertently say things that worsen the situation from someone struggling with depression. It's crucial to be mindful of our words and actions when supporting loved ones. Following are 3 things not to say, inspired by real-life examples of counseling practice. And I can actually vouch for every one of these.
Good.
Okay. 1, snap out of it. Emily's struggle. Emily, why can't you just snap out of it? Indiraa, why can't you just snap out of it? Emily's mother exclaimed, her tone tinged with exasperation. Emily has been battling with depression for months, finding it exceedingly challenging to engage in daily activities and feel a sense of joy. Her mother's words had only deepened her feelings of inadequacy and hopelessness. It's the last thing you want to hear, believe me.
Yeah.
Why it's harmful. Telling someone with depression to snap out of it implies that their condition is a choice or a matter of will. It is not. Depression is a complex mental health issue influenced by various biological, psychological, environmental factors. Such comments dismiss the severity of the illness and invalidate the individual's struggles. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Making them feel misunderstood and unsupported. And I believe that thoroughly. It's like mum saying, go to the temple and pray. I mean, bless her soul. She always wanted what's best for me, but go to a temple and pray? Seriously? Anyway, alternative approach. Instead of minimizing the person's experience, offer empathy, understanding. You could say, I'm here for you, Emily. It's okay the way you feel, and I want to support you through this. Let's find a way together to help you feel better. Now, I'll be honest with you. My husband, who's never understood depression, he said all the negative things in the beginning until I had to tell him, if you don't get it, just,
What?
yeah. Well, he's got it now. You have nothing to be depressed about. This is number 2. Alex's dilemma. Okay. But Alex, you have such a good life. I was saying this earlier. Why are you depressed all the time? Sarah's Alex's friend asked in a puzzled expression. Alex has a successful career, a loving family, a stable relationship, yet the weight of depression seems insurmountable. I hear you, Alex. Why it's harmful. When researching my book, The Anxiety, Depression and Anger Toolbox for Teens, I saw a lot of research supporting how depression doesn't discriminate based on external circumstances. Even people with seemingly perfect lives can struggle with it, invalidating someone's feelings by suggesting that they have no reason to be depressed can amplify their guilt and shame. It may also deter them from seeking help, fearing they will not be understood or believed. Listen, if you people feel any of these things, go out there and get some help.
That's right.
It is not your fault. You are not pretending to be something, and neither are you weaker than other people. You are strong if you go out there and get help.
That's right. It's a sign of strength.
Third one, be positive. James's experience. Well, James, you need to think more positively. Stop dwelling on negative all the time, remarked David, James' colleague, during a team meeting. James struggled to maintain a facade of normalcy. Normalcy. At work, concealing the overwhelming despair that consumed him daily. Why it's harmful. Encouraging someone with depression to just be positive oversimplifies the complexity of their condition. Depression is not a choice. Oops. Sorry. Yeah, depression is not a choice.
Indeed.
And simply changing one's mindset cannot alleviate the symptoms. Such comments can intensify your feelings of inadequacy and failure. I can actually vouch for this, reinforcing the belief that the individual is somehow responsible for their suffering. I can honestly vouch for this, Thomas, and I'm sure you can. Alternative approach. Express your concerns and willingness to support without imposing unrealistic expectations. You can say, James, I've noticed that you've been having a tough time lately. I'm here to listen to you if ever you need to talk. And if there's anything I can do to lighten up your load, let me know.
Very good.
So I just thought that this is... well,
it resonates, doesn't it?
Yeah, and
resonates,
concluding thought on this one, supporting someone with depression requires 1, sensitivity, empathy, and understanding. Avoiding harmful statements like the ones above can create a more supportive environment for individuals struggling with mental illness. Instead of offer unconditional support, validate their experiences and encourage them to seek professional help when needed. Together, we can contribute to a culture of compassion and acceptance for those living with depression.
Very good. Very good article.
That is a great article.
It's a very good article. But it just reminds me of how many times you've heard that you're not depressed, it's all in the mind.
It's all in the mind. Oh my God, I
what
wish
are you got
it
to be
was.
depressed about? It's the most depressing thing you can hear.
And it does undermine the problem. It undervalues what situation you're going through.
Of course. 100% it does. And then you begin to think, actually, are you depressed? Are you just not fitting in with society?
You may as well tell a footballer, well, if you were fitter, you'd be okay. Don't worry about it. You can work on your fitness. I mean, you may as well tell him he's rubbish, No,
they're really good points there. And that is true. I mean, for a lot of people hear that. And that's why there's still, unfortunately, a little bit of stigma attached to psychiatric disorders, because
I have a sister who refuses to admit she has psychological problems and mental depression and stuff, and she just says, they'll put me on medication and I'll get fat.
But there you go. That's the other side of it then, isn't it? People, if you're not willing to accept you've got a problem.
That goes to another level when you're worried about putting on a few pounds. My goodness me.
I know, you'd rather a bit of weight on or feel better. Okay, so I've got one, and it's number 3 as well. So you had 3, and I've got 3. 3 trees. Do you know what 3 trees are?
A forest?
A small forest. Well done. Very good. Very, very good. Smarty arse. Okay, so I've got 3 of the core ways depression impacts the brain and what that means. A psychiatrist explains what's going on in the brain during depression and what that means for the rest of the body. You don't need to be a mental health expert to know that depression is more than just feeling sad. From low esteem and a lack of motivation to physical changes across the body, the mental health condition can be truly all-encompassing. But at the root of many of these issues is depression's impact on the brain. While you might be familiar with the serotonin theory of depression, that depression is caused by a lack of the feel-good hormone serotonin in the brain, the changes that occur in the brain during a period of depression are a lot more complicated. That means that more research is needed to understand exactly what's going on, but experts do have some understanding of the mechanisms at play. So, to give you a clear idea of how depression impacts the brain, we spoke to Dr. Roman Gadelrab. Okay,
he's working on my property at the moment, Roman.
Is he? Is he Roman Catholic?
No, he's just Roman.
All right, okay.
Roman around the place.
Okay, so Dr. Roman Gadelrab, whatever, a consultant psychiatrist at South London and Mausley,
dismissing him, okay?
NHS Foundation Trust and the private mental health centre, the SOK, S-O-K-E. Don't worry, folks, all these links with the articles we posted online. So if I'm making a complete mashup of names and stuff like that, don't worry about it. You can read for yourself. So how does depression impact the brain? While the impact of depression on the brain is incredibly complex, Dr. Galderab says a good place to start is focusing on 3 key areas: system dysfunction, inflammation, and structural changes. Number 1, system dysfunction. Depression can wreak havoc on several key systems within the brain, impacting various neurotransmitters and communication pathways in the process. Serotonin is one of these neurotransmitters. Dr. Guderab says, the question of whether or not serotonin is involved in depression has been talked about in the media and has become quite controversial. But I think it's fair to say that enough research has shown that it is involved in some way, she says. In short, low serotonin levels may not cause depression, but there's definitely something going on there, and more research is needed to figure out exactly what that is. For example, Dr. Guderab suggests that, what a name, suggests that that it could have something to do with serotonin system, which controls and regulates the presence of serotonin throughout the body. The second area of the brain that is affected is the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis, or HPA axis for short. Let's keep it short. Depression can lead to this axis becoming dysregulated, stopping it from working optimally, and this can have a knock-on effect across the body. The HPA axis is a really important communication system in the body, which helps to regulate our responses to stress, she says. And this means the dysregulation of the HPA axis can affect things like mood, energy levels, and even the immune system. In particular, the dysregulation of the HPA axis can lead to elevated levels of the stress hormone cortisol, which, among other things, can deplete serotonin levels and wreak havoc on the circadian rhythm, the body's internal clock. It's for this reason that depression is often associated with disrupted sleep. Don't we know it? Dr. Gadelrab adds, in depression, I've said this so every time I've said that, I've said it wrong.
Honestly, you've got different names for this poor fellow.
Yeah, because it's a lens.
Listen, I hope you're not listening, Dr. Gladrags.
Gladrags? The Gladrags, yeah. I hope he's not definitely listening. I'll be on your case. There's something else to speak to your psychiatrist about. Dr. Gulab adds, in depression, we often see changes and difficulties with sleeping. People will find it difficult to fall asleep, stay asleep, or very commonly wake up early in the morning and not to be able to get back to sleep. And this can all be related to high levels of cortisol. The third key area that depression can affect is the autonomic nervous system, which controls a lot of those things we don't think about all that often: our breathing, heart rate, and stress response. The autonomic nervous system feeds back to the brain, but is present in nerves that thread all around the body, including the all-important vagus nerve. Okay, it's in the news a lot lately, the vagus nerve. It's this part of the autonomic nervous system that controls our sympathetic and sympathetic system, which are responsible for the fight and flight and rest and digest responses. In people with depression, this system often isn't functioning correctly. That means they might be more easily stressed out to find it hard to relax. Number 2, inflammation. Research into the link between inflammation and depression has identified a strong link, the two, with a large-scale study published in the American Journal of Psychiatry in 2021, concluding that inflammation is a core feature of the mental health condition. While experts still aren't quite sure whether depression causes inflammation or vice versa, we know that chronic inflammation has been shown to trigger or exacerbate depression, and that the brain scans of people with depression show high levels of inflammation. This paves the way for exciting developments in the treatment of depression. What if you just take anti-inflammatories? Okay. This paves the way for exciting developments in the treatment of depression. Dr. Gadelrab says an anti-inflammatory medications and diets could be used alongside traditional treatments to ease symptoms. Number 3, structural changes. Last but by no means least, depression can also lead to structural changes in the brain. Dr. Gadelrab explains, again, there are more and more studies in this area, she says. These are looking at brain scans and changes in connection with the brain, and in people with depression, they have seen some reductions in key areas like frontal cortex, which is involved in our reward pathways, mood and decision making. It's for this reason that experts are now looking into the link between childhood adversity and depression. Dr. Galderab adds, it could be that those structural factors are causing depression, or that the depression itself causes them, she concludes.
There you go.
Interesting article, no?
Yeah.
Very, very, very interesting article. Now, before we go into the next article, Indira, I'm going to play another track from the Mad 2024 album. We've got 2 more tracks to play from that, which obviously was released back in the end of March. And this song actually is called The Ride. And this song actually we originally recorded, I think, back in 2014, but it never got released. We didn't do anything with it. Great track, actually. So I decided, when we came up with the idea to do the Mad 2024, I thought, let's dig this track out and get it on the album, because it was just sitting there doing nothing. And it was written and sung by a guy called Ross Towner, who's now in another, he's got his own band, which is actually doing quite well. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, which I will enclose a link to that as well. But yeah, he wrote the song and he sung in it. So I engineered and produced it and put it on the album. And this is the track called
Ride.
The Ride.
The Ride.
Hope you enjoy it. Indira, what do you think of that song? That is awesome.
Fabulous,
The ride.
fabulous.
I love that song. Actually, I was just during the track there, I was actually looking up the band that Ross is actually now, and the band they're in now is called Amongst Liars. And they're a fantastic band. They're touring a lot, actually. They're going around touring around Europe. And we'll post that link so people can check them out. What a voice this guy has. He's amazing. Absolutely fantastic track. Yeah, so again, guys, that album is now on Spotify and it's on everything. It's on the kitchen table. You want to listen to some great music, check that album out. It's fantastic. So before we go on to your next article, Indira, I want to give a shout out to some of our listeners in Ireland who have contacted us, emailed in and said that they're loving the show. They listen to it every Sunday night. And that is to Cathal O'Mahony, Tots O'Mahony and Vern Carroll and their friends, and they listen in to the show and they're really enjoying it.
Hi guys.
Hope you're having great conversations, guys, and around that beer on the table, whatever you do when you're listening to this mad podcast. And because I know these guys are pretty crazy anyway. So thanks, guys, for the support. Really appreciate that, and good to hear from you. And anytime anybody wants to, listeners wanted to email the studio about any comments or anything you want to get a mention, do so at musiciansagainstdepression@gmail.com, and we'll give you a shout out.
Wow, that took you a long time to get that out of you.
Yeah, because I'd almost forgot it, so I had to give myself a chance to remember it. Oh, dearie me. There we go. So you've got an article?
Yeah, I've got an interesting on that note. Mm-hmm. We're all addicted to something.
Mm-hmm. Aren't we just?
How do you identify the secret addictions in your life?
Wow.
So there you go. Here's let me get rid of this annoying person who's in my
Shall I leave?
face. No, not you. This annoying thing. What the hell is this? Go away. Oh, how do you get rid of these annoying ads that are all over the place? I mean, really?
We have to. You got rid of it?
Sort of. I'll have to read past them, okay? If I cut words short, then...
I bet they're shopping ads. That's what it is. That's why...
No, they're not. Okay. Okay, imagine a typical addict. Who comes to mind? Perhaps someone's staggering down the street, clutching a bottle of wine, and maybe someone staying up late, glued to their Instagram feed. More often, it's the first image that strikes. Yet, this portrayal of addiction, focusing on the most extreme cases, mixes a broader, more inclusive picture. Addiction isn't about illicit substances and gambling. It spans a vast spectrum of behaviors, and it's likely we are all harboring some form of addiction. Addiction goes beyond the substances, activities, and traditionally associated dependency. It involves our reliance on anything external to soothe, escape, and alter our internal state. Whether it's compulsive online shopping, endless scrolling through social media, skipping meals due to weight concerns, behaviors can signify deeper issues is if they persist and cause harm. In essence, addiction surfaces when we persist with harmful behaviors, breaking promises to ourselves and others in pursuit of temporary respite from our realities. Gosh, isn't that true? Have you found yourself scrolling through Instagram to distract from stress? Felt regret after impulsively shopping during the retail therapy session? Lied to friends about your eating habits due to concern about their appearances? Well, have you?
Have I? I'm not going to say nothing.
Addiction involves a reliance on anything external to soothe, escape, or alter our internal state. But don't worry, you're not alone. We're all susceptible to addiction. Our brains, still adapting to the rapid developments in modern life, are inherently prone to it. A neural pathway and evolved to reward survival behaviors are now being hijacked by modern stimuli, from binge-watching TV shows, reacting to social media notifications. These hijacking leads to a cycle where a pursuit of instant gratification becomes increasingly compelling. You know, I think my husband's addicted to playing tennis and to his success at business. And I always thought when we got married, his obsession with business and to succeed was like an addiction. But then I was addicted to sport then, so it was a good match, But
Yeah.
I sometimes do think he doesn't understand addiction, even though he has it. So maybe I need to bring this to his
Attention?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. But don't worry, you're not alone. Okay, so here we are. Inability to stop, struggling to take breaks or quit despite wanting to. That's one thing I can actually speak for. Feeling shame, feeling deeply flawed, feeling continued addictive behaviors. That's two. Keeping secrets, hiding behaviors, and feeling due to guilt or embarrassment. Yep. Defensiveness, reacting negatively to others is a sign of denial. Broken promises, failing repeatedly to adhere to certain limits, like promising to stay off social media, but reinstalling the app as soon as possible. Oh dear. Recognizing these patterns is courageous first step towards change. Fortunately, our adaptable brains can learn and unlearn habits. Here are strategies to break the cycle of addiction.
Yes, do it.
Abstinence. Temporary abstaining can help your brain's balance. Always consult a doctor before you start safe practices. We were talking about that earlier.
Indeed.
Second, reflection. Understand the real needs behind the actions to find healthier alternatives. Third, seek support. Turn to friends, family support groups. Fourth, therapy. Professional help can provide deeper insights and strategies. Four, then, knowing your triggers. Recognize that prompts your behavior to better avoid them. Yeah, of course, you can. The world doesn't stop you having these triggers, that I have to say.
It gives you triggers.
Yeah, embarrassed feelings, allowing yourself to experience a range of emotions can uncover underlying needs of growth and opportunities. Okay, so change deep-seated habits in gradual process, not overnight fix. Each step towards this larger journey, towards regaining control of yourself, a journey that can be challenging, ultimately rewarding. So, the author of the book Hooked, Why Are We Addicted and How to Break Free of Now, with personal experience, if you want to look into this book, by all means do. Now,
It's transparent, is it?
not as transparent as you are.
Ooh, call me glass for nothing.
Okay, Tommy Glass.
Tommy glass.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least not a heart of glass, I hope.
Oh no, well that's going to be shattered many times. Double glazing. Because I'm amazing.
You're amazing.
Oh.
So, well, that was just something I thought, in case you people feel you're alone with addictions of any kind. There are loads of addictions.
Absolutely, there is many.
And
There
you
is
just
many.
need to know, as I said, the different steps is go to people, recognize it, so on. Don't expect it to go overnight. And,
But
these are the things you have to bear in mind.
But it is about recognizing him,
Yeah.
isn't it? It's about recognizing.
Reflection, seeking support, therapy, knowing your triggers, embracing your feelings.
Yeah, indeed.
There you go.
It's a lot to take on board. That's why we post these links so you can read for yourself and with all these things. It's
Easier said than done,
It's
isn't it?
always easier said than done. It is. So thank you for that, Indiraa.
Thank
That is
you.
interesting. I've got one more for everybody. And it's
Why do you do the cute voice thing? I mean,
because I am cute. Let's
yeah.
not forget.
Yeah, you are, actually.
Yeah?
I have to
Do I need to
admit
remind you?
No,
No.
I guess you are, yeah.
But I'm a koala bear, don't forget.
Yeah,
I am quality.
of course you are, my dear.
Yes. Right. The headline of my final article on mental health today is called Study Confirms the Mental Health Benefits of Weight Training for Older Individuals.
Oh,
What's going on over there?
I don't know.
My God almighty. Do you have to strap you down?
No, I was trying weight training with my laptop on my lap.
Yeah, sounds like you collapsed.
I did. My brain collapsed, actually. But never mind. Go on. Weight training. Let's go on.
It's okay. Shall I use
I was just enjoying that.
my finger to help you pick it up? All right. So weight training can help reduce body fat and increase muscle strength and mass in older people. Have you been to mass lately? Oh, that's a different thing. Older people. Contributing to functional autonomy and avoidance of falls and injury. That's really important. Furthermore, recent studies have shown that it can also benefit the mental health of older people, especially those who suffer from anxiety and depression.
Ooh.
Fantastic. But we kind of knew that anyway. ourselves because we've been doing it for yonks. These benefits were confirmed by a study report in the Journal of Psychiatry Research. The study involved a systematic review and meta-analysis of more than 200 articles on the subject. That's a lot. The analysis was conducted by Paula Cunha. I've got that, C-U-N-H-A, Cunha, a postdoctoral fellow with a scholarship from FAP-ESP at the Albert Einstein Jewish Brazilian Institute of Education and Research, IEAPP, in São Paulo, Brazil. Bloody hell. That's a long-winded one. I'm just going to call him Rillicky Bob, just for this thing.
Okay, Rillicky Bob.
Rillicky Bob, yeah.
We like Rillicky Bob.
Rillicky Bob is cute. Resistance training has been shown to be one of the most effective non-pharmaceutical strategies for healthy aging.
A lot of people are resistant to training.
They just Indiraa. We like that, huh?
I thought that was
very
quite
naughty
good,
of you.
no?
Very good, though. I like it.
I like it, yeah.
Oh, God. It promotes countless health benefits, including improvements to mental health, Cunha said. The findings of the study are highly promising, he continued. Besides improvements to symptoms of anxiety and depression in the general population, weight training appears to have a more significant effect on people with a confirmed diagnosis of anxiety or depression disorder. Epidemiological studies have shown that the decrease in muscle strength and mass that occurs naturally as we age may be associated with an increase in mental health problems. Okay, atrophy comes along with that. Given the existence of various psychological mechanisms that bring about functional and structural changes and that are controlled by the brain, Cunha said. Another important mental health benefit, he added, is that when weight training is done in a group, it contributes to more social interaction among those involved. Recommended exercises. The investigation also pointed to the best ways of structuring one's training to improve mental health. How the training is done appears to influence the results achieved. The information obtained so far suggests that older people should ideally do weight training exercises 3 times a week. With 3 sets of each exercise and sessions that are not too long, 6 exercises would seem to be sufficient. Do less, but do it well. A short set produces better results. This is meaningful information as we lack guidelines with specific recommendations for resistance training that focuses on mental health parameters, Cunha said. While there are many possible ways to prescribe resistance training programs designed to improve the health, autonomy and quality of life for older people, most result directly or indirectly in improvements to symptoms of anxiety and depression, regardless of the intensity and volume of the exercise involved, according to Edison Scenario, last author of the article and principal investigator for the study. He is a professor at the State University of London, UEL, and coordinates the Active Agent Longitudinal Study, a project that began in 2012 to analyse the impact of resistance training on parameters relating to health of older women. Another point observed by the researchers was that the use of training machines and free weights appears to be more beneficial for mental health than exercises that involve elastic bands, or calisthenics using the weight of the body's person, for example. Now that is interesting.
Oh, so free weights are better.
Yeah, and machines, yeah. There you go.
Oh, I love all my bands and stuff.
That is interesting. In the article, the researchers note that despite the incontestable mental health benefits of weight training, important gaps remain and should be filled by further studies. Generally speaking, most studies have involved a smaller number of volunteers, which hinders an understanding of how the phenomenon occurs and the main mechanisms that explain it. The research field has explained in recent years and has ample room for more advances, Cunha said. Cunha is currently conducting a project in partnership with the research group on clinical intervention and cardiovascular disease at the Albert Einstein Jewish Brazilian Hospital, HIAE, to analyse the impact of long periods of sedentarism on vascular and cognitive functions in older people. Well, when that comes out, we'll come back to you with that one. But that is an interesting one.
That is very good.
So weight training, yeah.
Free weights and machines.
Yeah, and machines is better than calisthenics and bands.
I love all that.
I think, why not mix it up?
Yeah.
Why not mix it up?
Yeah.
Mix it up. If you enjoy doing one thing and you know you're getting the benefit from that, then obviously do the other thing as well, which obviously has scientific research behind it.
That'd be true.
Yeah. Because I notice you don't do so much weight training anymore, do you?
No, I don't do. I love running. That's why.
Yeah, so I think, because I think for me personally, I think one of the key benefits, and why I can relate to this research, is because if you look at yourself, I mean, if you feel strong, you look strong, and you present yourself that way to yourself, you're going to feel good.
Strong,
you're going to feel good about yourself psychologically.
Yeah.
You won't feel like you're deteriorating as you get older. So that's really mentally important, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I can understand where that research is coming from.
Yeah, you see, I feel sometimes when I'm running, I feel free. You know, like I feel the...
Yeah, of course. You enjoy it.
Yeah, I love
No one's
running.
saying stop that. It's just saying this is probably just adjunctive. Add that in.
Yeah.
Add that in because it's really important as you get older, because obviously muscular atrophy
and bone density goes
these
up,
are all things that are going to deteriorate, decline as you get older. So obviously offset that by doing the exercise is very important. You'll feel better about yourself.
Yeah,
How could
absolutely.
you not? How could you not? So that was our last bit of research for today.
I'm going to the gym now, would you believe?
Are you going to the gym?
Mm-hmm.
Are you now? Did you get my permission for that?
Oh, please. It's my...
No, one thing before we go. I've got a little bit. Okay, folks, we've got a UFO article today, and the headline is "A World-Changing Underwater UFO Caught on Video is a legit threat," says ex-Navy officer. Let me just bung this one off for you quickly. All right. A retired US Navy admiral believes that the government should look into the oceans to help solve a mystery in disguise. Rear Admiral, why did you call him Rear? Is that a sexual thing?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. All right. So Rear Admiral Timothy Kalalute, former oceanographer of the US Navy, cited a 2019 sighting by a Navy warship as evidence that the phenomenon of unidentified flying objects, here we go, UFOs, yes, and unidentified submersible objects, so USOs, are linked. The sighting, recorded off the coast of San Diego, involved a hovering spherical object that appears to abruptly enter the water. Transmedium UFOs jeopardize US security. Gallaudet made the case of studying underwater UFOs, or what the government calls unidentified aerial phenomenon, which you don't like. We don't do this UAPs thing. We don't like UAPs. We like UFOs. Okay?
We like UFOs.
In a recent paper titled "Beneath the Surface, we may learn more about UAP by looking into the ocean." Gallaudet writes that transmedium USOs and UAPs, defined as unidentified objects that appear to travel both in the atmosphere and the water, jeopardize US maritime security. Now, why would they think that, really? The retired Rear Admiral makes the case that the undersurveyed underwater realm is a threat to maritime security. The oceans form the bedrock of international trade, and the American economy are where the US Navy operates. I'm sure now that UFOs and aliens are not bothered about the economic goings on.
Is it something to do with the Flintstones, the bedrock thing?
It might be that, yeah. Might be. Certainly a bit of rock, anyway. Gallaudet argues that the lack of knowledge about the undersea world poses hazards for submarines, such as collisions with other submarines, such as the independent crashes of the submarines USS San Francisco and USS Connecticut.
Are they blaming the UFOs now?
But he's obviously given reference to what can happen based on what's happened to these two submarines, both of which were incidents that resulted in severe damage to the ships and one crew fatality and undetected underwater seamounts. Further study of this realm, he believes, could shed additional light on these UFO-UAP sightings. The Ohama incident. One incident to which Gallaudet points in particular is a July 19, 2000 encounter between the Independence-class littoral combat ship USS Obama and a so-called transmedium UAP. In the incident, the crew of the Obama, sailing off the coast of San Diego, used their AN-CAX-2 electro-optical sensor to record a spherical UAP hovering just over the surface of the Pacific Ocean. The AN-KX-2 is a stabilized sensor turret built for maritime environments that includes a digital video camera, night vision camera and laser rangefinder. The video seen here, which is a link in the article, which guys can check
Was
it
it
out.
the Omaha or was it the Obama? Make up your mind
This
now.
is the two now. I don't know, it's the Omaha, but
Okay, whatever. Okay.
Anything else you want to add to that?
No.
The video seen here is a recording of a screen showing the output of the ANXK2. The video appears to have been taken with the night vision camera, which uses imaging infrared to record objects in darkness. The object seemingly moves, tracked by the sensor operator, and then stops to hover. The object stops and hovers a short distance above the surface of the ocean. At the end, the object disappears, with sailors remarking that it made a splash as it entered the water. Meanwhile, one sailor off-camera radios the other ships in the area, the guided missile destroyers Piccini, Kidd and Rafael Peralta, asking for a MH-60 helicopter to be launched as soon as possible. The video was leaked to UFO investigator Jeremy Corbell Lockyer and was later verified as genuine by the Navy. Ooh, lovely. A search for the Defense Visual Information Distribution Service, the Pentagon's website for releasing official photos and video, shows 3 of the warships in the encounter: Piccini, Kidd and Ohama. So O-M-A-H-A.
Omaha.
So it's not Obama, it's Omaha.
It's Omaha, yeah.
In formation in the Eastern Pacific 6 days later on July 25th. Okay. And there's another sighting which it goes on to talk about as well in it. And there's another sighting. So there's 3 sightings there that you can, which have related videos in the links, which you guys can check that out. So that is our bit of for today.
Wow.
And
Like the harmonies.
The harmonies.
Yeah.
So folks, hope you enjoyed that. And as always, all the links to the articles and kidology, ufology, and what anyone throwing anything in there?
Yeah, just geography and whatever.
Geography in there. It'll all be thrown in the show notes, people, so you can check
whatever.
you can check them out there, so
Whatever.
Yeah. It's just another mad
It's a mad world.
Well, folks, on that note, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Hope you've enjoyed the show as much as we have, and we look forward to bringing you more of the latest news and hot topics surrounding mental health on our next show. Remember, new episodes of the Mad Podcast drop every Sunday at 6 p.m. Episodes are available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Music, and of course, the Musicians Against Depression website, an online toolbox that contains a wealth of information, essential reading, and links relating to mental health. As always, if you or someone you know would like to join the conversation, either in studio or remotely, email us at musiciansagainstdepression@gmail.com or visit the MAD website at www.musiciansagainstdepression.uk for further info. All links, including social media, are provided in the show notes. And remember, no problem in life is insurmountable, and help is just a conversation away. Until the next time, from myself and the wonderful Indiraa,
Take care.